and welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenise Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you owning your greatest capacity. Yeah. So the tools, of course, I'm going to share throughout this radio show are from Access Consciousness. And something that we talk about a lot in Access Consciousness is about acknowledging your capacities, acknowledging your strengths, acknowledging you. Now, the terminology can show up in different ways in clearings and stuff, and it's own, claim, and acknowledge your capacities. Now, you don't have to use all those words, of course, but you might have heard it. If you're familiar, you might have heard it in different clearings like that, where you want to own and claim and acknowledge your capacities. So this morning, as I was going through the reference materials, which is something I love to do, and the reference materials are pretty much everything that's ever been in a manual in Access Consciousness that moves into the reference materials once it's taken out of that manual. So it's stuff from, 25 more years ago in some cases, and some is from last week. And it's just everything in between. It's just so magical. And so I was looking up capacities. It's something that's been kind of popping around in my head for a while. And this is what I read, was that our greatest capacity is change. Everything that just brought up. Well, you destroyed and uncreated all times a godzillion. All right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD, POC, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. That's the Access Consciousness clearing statement. You can go to theclearingstatement.com for more information about how it works. Now, this is something that I never really looked at before in terms of like naming a capacity. And I actually want to read to you from the reference materials. So Gary says, Gary Douglas, founder of Access Consciousness, a capacity is something you can access, but cannot define. Capacities are anything that you can do or be that will change anyone or anything. Anytime you're looking for something that is a talent or ability, ask instead, what capacity do I have here? What capacity do I have that will change this? What capacity do I have that will alter what's going to show up here? These are primarily energies. If you ask for a capacity, you'll get an energy which is not definable. So to me, those questions really invite us into the change that is actually possible for us. Now, if you've been around here for a while, and chances are if you're listening to this radio show, even if it's your first time, you choose to change. You choose change on a regular basis. And that's something that we really want to start owning and claiming and acknowledging. Otherwise, what we do is we look at what we haven't changed, and that's where our focus is. So instead of going, wow, look at everything I've changed, we go, oh, I haven't changed that thing yet. And until we change that thing, and we still don't acknowledge it, then it's going to be another thing and another thing and another thing. And what we start doing is we start using these capacities against us. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD, POC, shorts, boys, povads, and beyond. So again, capacities, I mean, you might hear people say, I've got a capacity with money, or I've got a capacity with bodies, or stuff like that. That's awesome too. But for the most part, as Gary says, they're undefinable. So it's our capacities to change. That's about as much as we can define. So people can have it to, change money things or to change body things or a bazillion things, but really looking at it from acknowledging, claiming, and owning your greatest capacity, which is to change. So you might have had, say you had an upset in your family and you changed it. Now, of course, with stuff like that, you can only change yourself. You can attempt to change other people, but for the most part, it's really about changing your stuff with it. And the other night, and actually there's two examples that I want to give, and they're so similar. But one was about a week and a half ago, I was doing this thing that I would almost say I wasn't aware that I was doing. Now, obviously on some level I was, But it was this judgment of me of not choosing to move my body. So for a long time, I've been moving my body a lot. And prior to that, not really at all. I mean exercise. We just don't call it exercise in Access. It's really about moving. Often if we say exercise, it's kind of got ick to it. So moving my body. But of course, I move my body every day. I move my body when I, do videos, all the things. But really like choosing to either go to the gym or go for my runs or all the things. And I really hadn't been choosing them. And I caught myself, and I'm pretty sure it'd been going on for a while, I caught myself in this really icky judgment about it. And when I say caught myself, it was like in the background in my head going on. So if I wasn't being present, it was just going. And then I guess at one point I chose to be present with it and just went, what the hell? And one of the ways that I have been choosing change lately is through the 10 Keys to Total Freedom, which is a book by Gary and Dane, founders of Access Consciousness. And we're on chapter 4 right now. So I've got 3 tools that I use pretty much continuously for things. So the first one is, hey, would an infinite being choose this? So of course an infinite being would not judge themselves for not choosing to exercise or move their body. So then the next question is, what's the purpose? Like, what am I getting out of it? So when I asked that, what I got was this really basic response, I'm going to say, of, oh, I want to fit in. Oh, I want to be like everybody else. And sometimes those are actually awarenesses. Sometimes those are actually the thing. However, in this case, I knew when I said it, it was like, that's not it. It's a cool answer. It's the most common answer, but it wasn't an awareness. So I just spent some time with it. I just got present with it and really got curious. Not from I'm wrong, not from I'm bad, really just like curious, like, okay, so that voice going on in the back of my head, me judging me continuously, what's the value? What am I getting out of that? And what I recognized, and it took probably 5 minutes plus of just being present with it, is that I had this really bizarre point of view that shame creates. That if I shame myself enough, I'll choose something different. Ew! Can I say again? Ew! And yeah. And that was really this level of vulnerability that yeah. So I'm so grateful. So looking at that, and then, okay, so I'll finish my story. So did that. So those are the first 2 questions. Once I got the purpose, then the next key is everything is an interesting point of view. So, okay, I just chose to be interesting point of view about that. Shame creates interesting point of view. I have that point of view. If I shame myself enough, I'll choose something different. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view over and over and over with all the pieces that were there. And then key number 3 is about living in 10-second increments. And so then the question is, hey, if I had 10 seconds to live the rest of my life right now, what would I choose? Well, it wouldn't be shaming me. Let me tell you that. And so it just stopped it. It just stopped it. And I'm actually going to rephrase that. I chose to stop it. Once I cleared that really interesting point of view, I chose to stop it. And the really cool thing is, 2 days later, 3 days, I'm not sure, a few days later, I just picked up my running shoes and went out. It's like, what? This is that ease? Of course, it's been 11 years I've been using these tools. I know it's that ease, and it still surprises me. So, fast forward to just the other day. I was doing a very similar energy about some money stuff. Once again, it'd probably been going on for a long time, but that moment I chose to be present with it. And same thing, okay, would an infinite being choose to judge themselves about money? No. What's the purpose? Same thing. Oh, I get to fit in, I'm like other people. It's like, no, that's not the energy. Present with it, present with it, present with it. Oh my gosh, it was the same energy. It was that shame piece again. And so this is a couple things with this. One, you can have a point of view that is in every area of your life that you may require to clear in different ways. So it's not like once I cleared that point of view a couple weeks ago about moving my body with it, that it cleared everything, obviously, because it came up with this other piece. And again, that energy of like, wow, I have this point of view that if I shame myself enough about money, I'll choose something different or whatever it is, but that energy. So, I followed the same steps, and then really looking at it when I was reading this stuff about capacities and our greatest capacity to change, and really going to, wow, I did not acknowledge the change that I chose with that experience with moving my body. I mean, I got it, and it did change it, obviously, because I've been moving my body ever since, or exercising, or, allowing my body to show me what she would like with movement. But I didn't truly acknowledge the capacity to change. If you were to talk to somebody who didn't know any of this sort of stuff, and you said to them, maybe they said to you, I would really like to start exercising. I've been thinking about it for a year or a month or 6 years or 60 years, and I'm not doing it, so I'll probably never be able to do it. And you were to say to them, hey, in about 10 to 11 minutes, we could change that. What do you think the response would be? Yeah, crazy. So we have to acknowledge the change we choose. And this is really a few, weeks, months maybe. I know I was sitting by the pool when I did the radio show. So it was summertime, 2022. It's about acknowledging you. It's really the clearing that I use every night to acknowledge me. And I don't even recall it off the top of my head right now. I have my little reminder app. It pops up. It's amazing. And so with that, even though I acknowledge myself every night, I really didn't catch that one. And not that it's right or wrong, but I wonder how much more magic we could be if we really started to acknowledge the change that we choose. And I don't mean the change like, I did this one thing a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It's like, how about how many things you change every day? Like, holy. That might be actually, as I'm saying that, that's what I'm going to add to that clearing on my reminder app, is like really to look at what did I change? Yeah, that feels yummy for me. Follow what works for you, but that feels really yummy for me, because acknowledging what we change, owning what we change, claiming what we change will ensure that it changes and stays changed, and allows us to basically start new every day rather than going backwards, in a sense. Now, I just wanted to invite you, and I brought my computer because I don't recall all of it, but I am coming to England in October, and you don't have to be in England to join me for all of this awesomeness. So we are going to be in Newcastle upon Tyne for an intro class called How to Unhide Your Magic, Ways to Manifest. In Liverpool, How to Increase Your Abundance as if by magic. In Margate, we have 2 classes. One, Who Are You Not to Be Magical? And the other one is The Magic of Creating Your Business Like No One Is Watching. And then we have a few in London. One is How to Add Magic to Be a Happy Empath. Then How to Create Magic with the Elementals. And then we are going to finish up with Business Done Different, which is a 3-day class. All those other classes that I listed are going to be probably 2 hours-ish. So again, join us in those locations, join us online. There's a special gift if you join us for all of the intro classes. So check it out. We'll have a link above or below. It is called Glenice's As If by Magic Tour of England. I am so excited. Would love to have you come and play. We're also doing a free call for anybody who is interested called Do You Still Believe in Magic? Yeah. So you'll find the link above or below somewhere. If you can't find it, reach out and I will get it to you so you can join us for that. Totally free for you, really to inspire us all back, forward. Forward is the correct term, forward to the magic that we be and have always been. So I wanted to run a clearing that I found in the reference materials that to me just so speaks to what we've been talking about. What out of control are you refusing that you truly could be choosing, that if you would choose it, would change all realities and non-realities and manifest in totality as your capacity to change? Everything that is, we destroy and created all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD POC, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. One more time. What out of control are you refusing that you could truly be choosing if you would choose it? Would change all realities and non-realities and manifest in totality as your capacity to change. Because we do require to be acknowledging how much we change and what we change and all of it. And there's so much more possible, guys. There is so much more possible. If we were willing to be the magic of us, we could change everything at any time with every breath we take. Yes. Now, a couple other questions. And so early on at the beginning, when I read from the reference materials, there were some questions in there. A couple that I wanted to add that you could add to your section of questions that you ask is, what capacity do I have that I'm not yet engaging? Yeah. And how can I use my capacities to my advantage? Yeah. So those will be great to add. And it's really where you want to look at, I don't know, for me personally, you've heard me talk about it a million times, possibly. I use my reminder app and I use it all the time. And I probably have, at this point, 60, 70 reminders that pop up every day of questions to ask. Use what works for you. Maybe, it's something on your iPad. Maybe it's a sticky note, whatever it is. People say to me all the time, it's so easy to forget. No. You're just not choosing to remember. You're not choosing to choose it. And what's required? For me, the reminder app is what really got me to actually start choosing it every day. I looked at, what do I require? Sticky notes aren't really as good for me because I'm not always in the same place every day. So my reminder app on my phone works great. I have an iPhone. I'm not sure if it's on other phones. And it came with my iPhone. It's a free app. It's not something I bought or downloaded separately. Yeah. All right. And one more, because I just think this is delicious. What capacity are you refusing that you truly could be choosing, that if you would choose it, would change all realities and non-realities and manifest as everything in your life working amazingly and more life than you've ever had before? Everything that is, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD POC, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. If you look at the areas of your life that aren't the way you would like them to be, what do you require to change? That's all it is. What do you require to change with that? That's all it is. Now, I make that sound super simple. It can be. If you're willing to be the capacity of change that you truly be, all of those areas of your life that aren't the way you would like them to be, changed. As if by magic, my sweet friends. So, I wonder what is possible for us and our capacities now. And I wonder what it would be like for us to own and claim and acknowledge our greatest capacity of change with every breath we take. Anything that doesn't allow that, we destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD POC, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So once again, guys, I invite you to come and change with me as I travel around England, either in person or online, or a mix of both. Maybe you can be in some of the areas, not all the areas. Maybe you can't be in any of the areas because you're not anywhere near. Whatever it takes. I would love to see you, hug you in person, or hug you energetically online. Have a fabulous week, and I look forward to chatting again next week.